Good evening, everyone. Welcome to our April 4th meeting. It's great to see so many people here. We have some nice recognition to go through this evening. We like these meetings. If you would all please just stand for a salute to the flag and a moment of silence for retiree Susan Lambeck and our TA Serafina Farb. I pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Okay, we'll start quickly with our agenda. Item D, approval of minutes. Item E, acknowledgement and acceptance of financial reports and budget transfers as printed. And item F, communications to the Board of Ed. Communications were received from Gina Deignan, Melissa Karatke, Nancy and Joe Ficarino, and Lisa and Hal Hilliard. Do I have a motion?
Move.
Second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
And now for Mr. McNamara, Superintendent's report.
Great, thank you. Good evening, everyone. Thank you for attending tonight. It's nice to see so many folks here. Going to start off, unfortunately, on a sad note. As Ms. Reach just mentioned, we lost one of our own last week. One of our aides at Forest Lake, Serafina Farb, passed after a battle with cancer. Ms. Farb worked in our special education program at Forest Lake and unfortunately left us much too soon. She was kind, professional, willing to do whatever needed to be done to ensure our students' success. She was gentle in manner and had a great sense of humor and certainly made everyone around her feel happy and comfortable. So we want to extend our condolences tonight to Serafina's family and friends and the entire Forest Lake school community as they mourn her passing. And thank you for observing a moment of silence to start the meeting for her. Okay, we're going to transition to some celebration this evening. We have several of our groups here to recognize tonight. We're going to start this evening with the Wantagh Varsity Wrestling Team. Yeah, please. It seems that this is almost an annual event where we're here recognizing our wrestling team for an outstanding accomplishments. This year they were the Nassau County Dual Meet champions, as well as heading upstate and really just representing us proudly right through the semifinals in the state tournament. So many individual accomplishments. And Coach Gillespie, too, recognized just recently as Nassau County Coach of the Year, which is an outstanding accomplishment. These are student athletes that work so hard throughout just not this season, throughout the entire year, traveling all over to tournaments and putting in so much work. And our program is just really one of the premier programs, not in the county, but in the state. So we have so much to be proud of tonight. I've invited the team here, as well as Ms. Keene, our athletic director. We're going to call up each member of the team and recognize them with a T-shirt and with a certificate from the Board of Education. So congratulations to our wrestlers. Let's come on out.
Good evening. Is this on? Good evening, everyone. Wantagh finished with a 27-1 overall dual meet record, entering the postseason as the #1 seed and defending Nassau County dual meet champions. As no surprise, it came down to a coin flip and Coach Gillespie's spiral notebook as we defeated Long Beach in an exciting 28-23 match to claim back-to-back Nassau County dual meet championships. At the New York State Dual Meet Championships, we advanced to the semifinal round and finished in the top 4 in New York State. We then came home and had 22 individuals qualify for the Nassau County Individual Championships. Winning the Nassau County titles were Anthony Clem, Joe Clem, Tommy Bonacera, and Jesse Van Orden. Based on the team's overall performance, Wantagh earned the 2023 Team Championship as the top team in Nassau County. and then they went on to finish in third place as a team at the New York State Individual Championships. To say they had team and individual success is an understatement. Congratulations, boys. You deserve this recognition tonight. Thank you to our coaches for all of your hard work and dedication, and thank you to all the parents for your continued support. When I call your name, if you can just come up and then just stay up here in the front. Jesse Van Orden. Darren Santucci. Dean Rhombus. Brandon Rice. I can't read this name. Nicholas Razik. They want you to go up onto the stage. Daniel Petinato. Andrew Perez. Sharif McMillan. Stefano Lenardi. Matthew Kington Young. Vasilikos Kanellis. Luke D'Onofrio. Michael D'Amico. Jonathan Catrone. Noah Corwin. I have to say a special recognition to Noah. He wrestled the last 3 weeks of the season with a torn ACL. Joseph Clem. Anthony Clem. Benjamin Burkhart. Tommy Bonacera. Ricky Benkovic. Ryan Arbite. Shayna D. Tyler Spisto. Andrew Montagano. That's Richie. Andrew. Dominic Krug. Kyle Frey. Marco Diaz. Max Burkhart. And Matthew Mareka. And of course our coaches, Coach Hanley, and Coach Bloom.
Yeah. Woo! Woo!
Oh, sorry, I didn't see you. Coach Hooker.
Coach Hooker! Yeah!
I don't know who's the one kid that's over there. Nico.
Little man up front.
Nico. Come on up, Nico. Are we going up?
Oh, you did there not. We go. You did not. Yeah, baby. Yeah, baby.
Squeeze in. Come on, boys. Go. Get in.
Take a third row. Yo, 12600. Get on.
You guys get on here.
I don't know.
All right? Get in there.
Now we're got it.
Step on the thing.
Thank you. So funny. We say hi to each other in the hall sometimes.
Obviously, they're not seasoned.
All right, congratulations again to our wrestlers. Excellent job this year. The next group we want to recognize tonight are our All-County Art students. One of the programs that we are super proud of here is our art program. It continues to grow in leaps and bounds. First of all, the course of offerings that we have in art really are second to none. It's a program that continues to expand at Wantagh High School. We have such great theater programs at the middle school and at the elementary level. We've had a great number of students that are being recognized as all-county artists this year. I thank our art staff for putting up a display this evening of some of our great artwork. And we'd like to take a moment to recognize our artists. So I'm going to invite Ms. Yoda to call up our artists. Please stay out there for a picture.
Good evening. We are here tonight to recognize 27 incredibly talented Wantagh art students who were selected to participate in the Nassau County Art Supervisors All-County Art Exhibit. We have so many talented artists across the district and an art program to be so proud of, but these talents stood out and were represented Wantagh well with this exhibit. The exhibit took place in March at Long Beach High School, and to our talented students, getting this recognition is something to be so proud of. Congratulations on being chosen to represent Wantagh at this high level of accomplishment, and we look forward to seeing more beautiful art from each of you in the future. So we are so lucky to have your impressive work here tonight. I encourage everyone to take a look as you go up there, students, and see each other's work. But again, congratulations, it's such an honor, and we're so thrilled to have such an incredible program and have such incredibly talented students that we can provide all this incredibly amazing art experiences to everybody. So congratulations to the following. And a special shout out to Ariel Combs. She was our senior art scholarship award recipient at the awards. Was recognized at that ceremony with a scholarship, and we could be more proud of Ariel and all she's done for the art department. So first off, Ariel Combs. Sienna Celli. Shane Adams. Sarah Grabowski. Sarah Braun.
All right, congratulations once again to our artists. Great job. And then one final recognition tonight, which is a big one, which is our middle school received, we spoke about last month, our middle school received a really significant designation. They are an essential element school to watch, which is really a huge accomplishment for our middle school and our middle school staff. They've done a great job through the process of receiving this designation from New York State. So I want to take a couple minutes just to tell you a little bit about the designation, the recognition that they're receiving, and invite them up to be recognized this evening as well. So first off, what is the Schools to Watch program? It's a program that really identifies outstanding middle schools across the state. It's a national program, and New York State participates in that. And they look for all the key components that a middle school should have, and they evaluate the school based upon that. And we really, just going back several years ago, had some discussion with the middle school leadership team about pursuing this, and they jumped right on it and really did a great job through the process. It's a lengthy process that they go through, kind of outlined here, from really having initial conversations in the building about it, taking a look at the requirements, and kind of seeing where the school stands, and really having some conversation with the faculty and staff about areas that they can focus on, areas that they'd like to improve upon, and how they could meet the requirements to receive this designation. They went through that process. They put together 4 committees that focused on these 4 key areas: academic excellence, developmental responsiveness, social equity, and organizational support. And they created a committee to evaluate their process on all of those items, and started to put together an application, a lengthy application at that. These were the leaders of those teams. We thank the teacher leaders that took on those responsibilities and helped with that. We received, after a site visit just a few weeks ago, received a lengthy report. I think it was a 40-some-odd page report that really highlighted all the strengths of Wantagh Middle School. And we pulled out some of the areas here just that were noted by the reviewers that came on site to review the application, and then spent several days here meeting with staff, going in and out of classrooms, meeting with groups of parents, meeting with groups of administrators, meeting with groups of teachers, meeting with groups of students, and put together a really thoughtful response on how Wantagh Middle School fared. And these were some of the things that they highlighted: the building administration and their commitment to this, the school community, and just they made some really thoughtful comments about just how engaged of a school community that we have, and how committed folks were to the process. They talked about the developmental responsiveness, and they used examples of advisory, teachers working on teams, the support staff being so committed, and then really being committed to student choice. One of the things they spoke about when I met with them, they were so impressed with things like our game room at the middle school. They talked quite a bit about that, and just involving students in that process. They also talked about innovation and how the administrative team really worked with the staff collaboratively to solve problems and come up with unique solutions, and in different instructional approaches that they saw when they were in and out of classrooms, and then the wide range of support services throughout the school. And then they also gave recommendations for improvement. So the way this process works, it's a process of continual improvement, which is one of the things that we love about this, is that every few years you have to receive a redesignation. So they make recommendations, and then they come back in a couple of years and they see how you're doing in those areas. They made some recommendations around improving, continuing to improve our teaming model, looking for more parent engagement, Looking for ways to really use data to inform instruction was a recommendation they made, and also looking to create some more interdisciplinary opportunities for our students. And those would be things that we'll continue to work at and continue to look to improve upon as we move forward. I want to thank the leadership team at the middle school, Mr. Chifo and Mrs. Quattrochi, as well as Dr. Scolari, who was part of this initiative when she was in the role of assistant principal at the middle school, and really thank the faculty for their commitment to this, the teacher leaders that took on those leadership roles, and really took this process seriously and really looked to continually improve. There is a formal recognition that's going to take place in Washington, D.C. at the end of June. We'll be sending a team to that recognition. I just want to take a moment to congratulate them. We had a banner made up for them and some cookies for the staff for tomorrow as well. So congratulations to the leadership team at Wantagh Middle School. Come on up and... There you go. Next time. Next designation. Yeah. Okay. All right. We have a presentation tonight as well from our elementary SEL team. So I'm going to invite them to come on up. And I'm just going to change gears here to their presentation. Here you go. One of the initiatives that we started a couple of years ago was really working on social emotional learning across our elementary schools, and really with the goal of creating a common language and a common program across all three of our elementary buildings. And I want to thank Rachel Dender. Rachel is the assistant principal at Wantagh L, who took on the ambitious task of leading this committee and really has done an outstanding job just in terms of putting together a thoughtful process of bringing in all the stakeholders to make some decisions around bringing in an SEL program for our district. I think at points the committee swelled to over 100 people or so. When I say that she included all the stakeholders, I truly mean that. There were a lot of folks at the table that presented various ideas and perspectives and got us to a point where we could pilot something this spring. And they're really here tonight just to report on that progress and tell us a little bit about the work they did. So I thank them for their efforts, and I'm going to turn it over to Rachel to lead the presentation.
or a family member later this evening, and this is an example of an SEL strategy for recognizing emotions. So now that we know how we feel tonight, what is SEL? What is social emotional learning? SEL has a focus on 5 core competencies: social awareness, relationship skills, responsible decision-making, self-awareness, and self-management. In school, we learn these skills through curriculum and instruction, through school and district-wide practices and policies, and with our family partnerships across settings. This means that SEL must take place in the classroom, in our homes, and beyond. For content area learning, such as reading and math, we've been using RTI, or Response to Intervention, for many years. RTI provides tiered support to all students based on their individual needs. By utilizing an SEL program, we're able to have a multi-tiered system of support, or MTSS, that includes RTI for content areas and also addresses SEL and parent connections. MTSS focuses on the growth of the whole child. The goal is for every student to leave our elementary schools with the skills they need to be successful academically, behaviorally, and socially emotionally.
Using the MTSS framework, our SEL committee discussed our needs as individuals, as a class, as a school building, as a district at the elementary level, as families, and as a community. After this needs assessment, the team split into 5 groups. We researched successful SEL programs and identified the components that fit our needs in Wantagh. We created and used a rubric to evaluate these programs, and then provided opportunity for all elementary staff members to give feedback, ask questions, and submit their ideas. This fall, we also sent out a parent survey to families at all 3 elementary schools. We received 140 responses across all 6 grades. 92% of the responses were from parents who were not on the committee at the time the survey was sent, providing a broad cross-section of input from our community. 85.6% of parents replied that having a program teaching the listed skills was important or very important to them, and 72% replied that it is important or very important to have a formal SEL program in our schools.
Aligning to the district mission and board goals, including research and input collected from the school community, the SEL committee created Wantagh Cares. This program focuses on character, accountability, relationships, emotional awareness, and safe choices. Wantagh Cares has SMART goals that measure progressive growth. The program begins with students identifying and regulating their emotions and leads to students independently problem solving. All skills support students in being upstanding citizens who care about and participate in their community. The Wantagh Cares program consists of 3 parts: ruler tools, restorative practices, and character strong. A highlight from the ruler program is the mood meter. This tool provides students the opportunity to think about how they feel, learn emotional vocabulary, communicate their feelings, and develop strategies to manage their feelings. Restorative practices focus on utilizing strong and trusting relationships for students to grow and learn. To learn more about restorative practices, committee members extended their learning in a variety of ways, including a conference with author and school leader Dominique Smith, a book club focusing on his text, Better Than Carrots or Sticks, and a workshop at BOCES.
In addition to incorporating restorative practices and ruler tools as needed, the main component of Wantagh Cares is Character Strong. Character Strong includes weekly lessons that can be taught in one day or can be broken into smaller parts throughout the week. All people who work with students are involved in the program, including classroom and special area teachers, lunch monitors, and bus drivers. Character Strong includes monthly parent newsletters and activities for families to do together. The committee members plan to create parent workshops taking place throughout the school year. As a building and community, there are morning announcements, activity pages, and posters for bulletin boards so that SEL skills are ingrained throughout the entirety of the school day. Character Strong focuses on 3 main areas: be well, be strong, and be kind, with focus on emotion regulation, executive functioning, social skills, and conflict resolution. While everyone is learning the same main ideas, every subject is broken down to be age appropriate, and students will learn concepts that build upon each other from year to year. Character Strong also has a Tier 2 program with 3 main components: small group instruction, where students will be taught lessons specific to what they need to focus on, a school mentor for them to talk things through with, and family support to help students transfer the skills learned across environments. This spring, teachers are piloting Character Strong and submitted feedback about the program. To assess our progress, we will be using tools to check in with all classroom teachers, with students in grades 3 to 5, and with parents. The committee will review and apply the results to continuously improve the program. Thank you so much for your time this evening. We welcome any questions and look forward to a positive SEL experience for our students ahead.
Any questions from the board? Thank you. No? All right. Thank you very much. Once again, we thank the committee. We thank you for the presentation this evening and all the work that you put in. All right, then just the final part of my report tonight. Tonight the Board of Education is going to be adopting our budget for the upcoming school year. I want to thank our school community for all their involvement in our budget process this year. Budget process is always a lengthy one. We start in the fall and really continue along up until tonight, where we formally adopt the budget before the community vote in May. We just wrapped up a series of budget forums. We had our last one this morning at the public library, and then we had 3 evening presentations. We started back at the beginning of March, had one on March 20th, last night on April 3rd, and also ran some budget focus groups. We did 3 groups. We ran one on March 27th and 2 on March 30th. And then did a community survey. So we thank everyone that participated in all of those opportunities. As we develop the budget, we really are workshopping the budget throughout the month of March, and all that feedback is certainly helpful and helps inform the process. The goals for our budget this year, first and foremost, we always want to maintain all of our outstanding programs, and happy to report that we were able to do that. We also really focused on reducing elementary class size. That was something that going back a couple years that we had an uptick in. We wanted to bring that back down to previous levels. Happy to report that we were able to achieve that. Also looking to expand UPK. UPK is Universal Pre-Kindergarten. 2 years ago, we received a grant from New York State to begin that program. We started with 4 classes across our elementary schools. We expanded it to 6 this current year, and we are looking to expand that to 8 for next year. That is all based on a grant that we've received from the state that has continued to expand each and every year with additional funding. Next year we anticipate having 4 classes at Wantagh, 2 at Forest Lake, and 2 at Mandalay. So we're thrilled that we're able to expand that program and offer it to over 140 students. We also each and every year have a process to expand new course offerings across the secondary schools, and in the fall we received some presentations around those. We're able to enhance those course offerings, really highlighted by an expansion of our science research program at Wantagh High School. In addition, we look to expand some of our technology infrastructure. We're going to be updating a Mac lab that's part of our art department at Wantagh High School, as well as our continued efforts to expand our cybersecurity initiatives, and we're able to support that in this budget as well. In addition, we're going to have a second proposition on our budget vote this year for an expenditure from our Capital Reserve Fund. We've put dollars in that over the past couple of years, and we're proposing to make an expense out of that. That's money that's already been allocated, and I'll highlight some of those projects in a second. Those are projects across the district. And security, looking to enhance our security with some increased security guards and increased hours, expanding the hours of coverage across our buildings, and also expanding some of our technology in terms of security, updating some of our security cameras, replacing, as part of our capital project, some exterior doors across the buildings as well, and provide ongoing professional development. We're expanding some of those offerings for our staff and faculty. Here's our budget proposal that the board will be adopting this evening. It's a increase budget to budget of about $4.5 million, being driven in large part by an increase in state aid of over $2.5 million as a big portion of that. The total tax levy increase is $1.6 million, which is below our tax cap, coming in at 2.57%. These are some of the capital projects that we're going to be asking voters to approve for next year, which include roof replacements here at the high school and middle school complex, roof replacement at Wantagh Elementary School, our athletic field scoreboard, a replacement there. It's hanging on barely. A number of, as I mentioned earlier, exterior door replacements across all of our buildings. Some HVAC work in the high school main gymnasium. We're going to be doing some work there that this coming summer that voters approved in terms of ceilings, flooring, and windows there. Masonry work across the district is incorporated into our budget this year as well, and doing some hallway ceiling replacements at Wantagh Middle School. So all those are included in capital projects. This is the referendum. So as I mentioned, this is the second proposition that will be on the ballot. This is totaling just a touch over $3 million worth of infrastructure work that we'll be doing. Once again, that money has been allocated. That's there in that reserve fund. We're asking the voters for the authority to go out and complete that work. Each year we battle with some different drivers in our budget. Some of the major expenditures this year, our biggest one is some insurance and contribution increases, some special education costs. We're going to be adding a new special education class at Mandalay Elementary School, as that program there, the 611 program, continues to expand. And then you can see some of the other increases: negotiated salary, insurance, technology, transportation as well. Health insurance continues to be the big one. We've seen those rates go up by 27% over the past 2 years, and that's one of the big drivers in our budget. Our state aid picture is good. That continues to improve. We have are projecting for next year $21.9 million, which is about 25% of our total budget for next year. So we're certainly thankful that we're receiving some additional aid for next year. That's really helping to offset those big budget drivers. In summary, we're able to really maintain all existing programs, expand in some of those areas that we highlighted, address some of the capital work that we're doing through the capital reserve, and really offset the drivers through the increases in state aid. And all of the real budget detail, including all the presentations that we've done leading up to the board adopting the budget tonight, are located on our district website. There's a link right off the main page for budget resources where you find all that information as well as all of the budget detail. And our budget vote will take place on Tuesday, May 16th at each one of our elementary schools from 7 a.m. to 9 p.m. All right, and that is it for my report tonight. I will turn it over to Mrs. Reich.
Okay. Thank you, Mr. McNamara. Some great things going on in the Wantagh School District. Okay, moving forward with our agenda for this evening. Item H, report of the administration. Item H1, personnel actions, instructional staff. Item H1B, appointment for extra hours. C, AIS support compensation. D, rescind 6th instructional class. E, rescission of club extracurricular appointment. And F, rescission of coaching appointment. Do I have a motion?
Move.
Second? Second. All in favor? Aye. Item H1G, 6th instructional class. H, revision of stipend. I, appointment to club extracurricular activities. J, appointment to coaching assignments. K, appointment of instructional substitutes. Do I have a motion?
Move.
Second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Item H2, personnel actions, civil service. Item H2A, resignation. B, change in title or hours. C, appointment of civil service personnel. And D, appointment of non-instructional substitutes. Can I have a motion? Move. Second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Item H3, contractual and other authorizations. Item H3A, disposal of obsolete books. B, disposal of obsolete equipment. C, special education services agreement. D, related services agreement. E, health service agreements. F, scope education service agreement. Can I have a motion?
Move.
Second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Item H3G, BOCES Twilight Alternative Program Agreement. H, retainer agreement from Sokolov Stern LLP. I, memorandum of agreement. J, curriculum writing. K, extra classroom activity charter. And L, H-I-J-K-L. I can't see. Use of funds from retirement reserve. Do I have a motion?
Move.
Second? Second. All in favor?
Aye.
Item I, unfinished business, there is none. Item J, new business. Item J1, approval of committees on special education and preschool special education recommendations. Item J2, proposed 2023-24 budget. It is appropriate at this time to adopt the proposed budget for 2023 through 2024. It's recommended that a proposed school budget in the amount of $89,497,546 be approved for placement on the official ballot of the regularly scheduled May 16, 2023 election, and further approve the property tax report card, which shall be filed with the New York State Education Department. Do I have a motion? Move. Second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, do I have a motion to adjourn?
Madam President, I'd like to make a motion that we adjourn.
Second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, at this time, we'll move along to our reports from our groups, starting with our student government, Sean and Nyla.
Good evening, everyone. Our students have truly been working hard in March and April. First, on March 24th, the Black team won sports night for a back-to-back win with last year's victory. On Thursday, March 29th, the the National Honor Society held an intergenerational dinner for local senior citizens before the SpongeBob SquarePants musical. The senior citizens came down to the school, had a nice dinner, won some gift card raffles, talked to some of our National Honor Society students, and watched the SpongeBob musical at the end. SpongeBob SquarePants the musical had a great run over the weekend and was heavily attended thanks to the hard work of the student actors, stage and sound crew, pit performers, and even special appearances by some of our school's alumni.
Last week, it was announced by Newsday that 5 of our student athletes made the list for the top 100 lacrosse players on Long Island. So congratulations to seniors Maddie Alamo, Eva Ingrilli, Catherine Killian, Julian Nicholson, and Anthony Sakos on this amazing achievement. Additionally, senior Natasha Mahar earned another incredible achievement of becoming a National Merit finalist last week for her academic performance throughout high school. Last Thursday, the Student Visionaries of the Year campaign and fundraiser for the Leukemia and Lymphoma Society came to an end. This fundraising campaign lasted 2 months and included over 300 fundraising teams nationally. There were 2 teams right here in Wantagh, led by seniors Caitlin Whiffler and myself, as well as juniors Justin Buffone and Alex Bonanno. With over 40 Wantagh High School students participating in this campaign to raise money to cure blood cancer and fund blood cancer research and patient support, we were able to raise over $45,000 for Leukemia and Lymphoma Society.
Looking ahead, into April, 20 Wantagh High School students have been given the opportunity of a lifetime with the help of the Gary Sinise Foundation to travel to the National World War II Museum in New Orleans, Louisiana, with 20 World War II veterans. From April 18th to the 21st, the students will attend a dinner here on the island where they will meet their assigned veteran. Then they'll fly out to New Orleans with them the next day and spend 2 days showing them around the World War II Museum and hearing about their stories from the war.
The Wantagh High School Orchestra and Chorus will also be gone at that time. They're going to travel to Chicago to perform at the Heritage Festival from April 21st to the 24th. The 2 ensembles will debut a joint piece commissioned specifically for this high school. It's titled Unitas in Voce, which stands for United in Voice. And that's all we have for you tonight, so thank you guys.
Thank you very much. The Foundation for Educational Excellence, Barbara or Liz? No. Anyone here from Forest Lake PTA? Mandalay PTA?
Hello, good evening. My name is Danielle Taravecchia. We have exciting things going down in Mandalay. We had a great STEAM night this week, and our 3 to 5 students were able to enjoy the Mad Science Assembly while our K-2 students went and broke up into various activities run by our wonderful teachers and parents. Then they were able to switch, and then our 3 to 5 students went to the, they broke off into the workshops run by the parents and by the teachers, and then our K-2 students got to enjoy the assembly. So I'd like to say a big thank you to Ms. Del Piano, Ms. Pasicchio, and all the teachers and parents that helped out that night. It was really wonderful. Today the kids got to enjoy the Big Bubble Bonanza assembly. They loved all the excitement. Jeff Boyer showed the kids how to manipulate bubbles and explain the science behind why certain things worked and didn't work. He had the children volunteer and hold the bubbles, and even put the kids and the teachers in the huge bubble. So it was really exciting. They loved it. We're looking forward to our Candyland Ball, which will be at the end of April. The children are inviting a guest of their choice, and it's candy, a parent or guardian. And it is candy themed, and we're really looking forward to it. We are planning a parents' night out with the Forest Lake parents, and we have date sets for our Ducks game, which is really exciting, and an Adventureland fundraiser. So that's what's going on in Mandalay. Thank you.
We have anyone from Wantagh Elementary? How about SEPTA? 612 Association. I think it's because it's a Tuesday night meeting. PTA Council. Sports Booster Club? Yep. She is.
I just did. Okay, so I'm Lisa Giacometti, in case you don't know, but every year the athletic department and the Booster Club host an athletic awards dinner for the varsity athletes where we give out scholarships and awards and some MVPs, stuff like that. In addition to hosting the dinner, we also create a journal for the families to take home as a memento. This is just a sample. And so in the years past, businesses would advertise their business in this journal to promote their business throughout any, and it could be like any town, it could be Wantaw, it can be anyone from the district or outside the district. And if anyone you know that would like to donate or advertise their ad in this journal, please let us know. You can email the Booster Club, Wantaw Sports Booster Club Gmail. Also, we'd like to open the Snack Shack for the spring, but we need adults to help run it. Chris and I would definitely be around, but we need someone to be there for 3 o'clock to open it, close it, and we'll do the shopping. And Kristen and I will be retiring with our daughters of June of 2024. So we are looking for people to join the Booster Club board of first school year of 23 to 24, creating a board with BPs, recording secretary, co-presidents, treasury, all that. If you know anybody, just let us know. Thanks.
Anyone from Bandwagon? No? And how about Drama Club? Okay. Okay, so now we'll open the mic to anyone from the community who may want to address the board, and Mr. McNamara.
Good evening. My name is Louise Radzicki. I have 2 children in the district. And first I want to wish everyone on the board and the administration happy Passover, happy Easter in the coming weeks, in the coming days. I was so impressed with the presentation tonight about the social emotional learning curriculum and the Wantaw Cares program that you'll be implementing in the elementary schools. My children are now high school aged, middle school, high school aged, and I only wish that they could have taken part in social and emotional learning while they were going through elementary school here in Wantaw. So thank you for having the foresight to implement something like this. I feel it's very, very important for our children. But I do have a question. If just to determine the effectiveness of a program like this, is there any intention to review information about disciplinary incidents throughout the district, starting in elementary school, and see if there's any change, if there's any improvement in implementing this program? So thank you very much.
Hi, good evening. My name is Gina Dignan. I have a son in Wantaw High School. At last month's meeting, a parent commented on the continued lack of response from board members, specifically calling out Laura on her election platform of transparency and communication, to which Laura responded that the district had hired a public communications officer. And since we're not permitted to engage in back and forth dialogue at meetings, I had to wait a month to follow up with this question, or the questions I have. What are the specific duties of our newly hired public communications officer and the salary for which they're being paid? There was mention of this position being pulled from civil service applications, but I couldn't find any of that information online. Can you also explain what prompted the need for this position? Also, how is hiring a separate individual to answer questions on behalf of the board, which is what we're assuming that's for, how is that helpful in easing the tensions that have arisen from the very issue of the board's continued lack of communication? I could understand if there was an extreme uptick in community contact. However, from the looks of this meeting, it doesn't really seem that that's happening. I still see the same faces here tonight as I do at previous meetings. And I believe last month's meeting's agenda listed 4 communications in the past month. I think there were 4 again as well. So I'm just not seeing the justification of hiring someone and allocating resources to respond on behalf of an unpaid volunteer board that promised increased transparency and communication. All of this then begs the question of, should we ever expect to have back and forth dialogue at these meetings? We've seen other meetings broadcast recently where that does happen. Or are we relegated to this constant my monologue, then your monologue, then I have to wait a month to ask any follow-up questions so you can answer, and then you can see kind of where we're going with this. Because the last time someone tried to respond to your response at a meeting, they were escorted out by security, Laura banged her gavel, and out we all went, meeting adjourned. So in theory, it could take months just to finalize a conversation with everyone up here. Or now our public information officer, or until one party simply gives up and stops responding. Which brings me to my next point. Last Wednesday, I emailed Dr. McNamara and the board asking if there were any plans to implement armed security in all of our buildings, as 6 innocent souls had just been murdered in a school in Nashville that did not have armed security. I received a response from Kimberly Thomas, the public information officer, thanking me for my feedback and that safety and security remains the board's highest priority. Ms. Thomas also replied that next year's budget proposal includes the expansion of security personnel, as you mentioned tonight, and upgrades to the buildings to further enhance security. I followed up the same day, thanking Ms. Thomas for her response, but reminded her that she had not actually answered my question. So I asked again, does Wantagh School District plan to implement armed security in our buildings? Yes or no? It is now almost 6 days later. And guess what? No response. Okay. So can you please tell me how allocating more taxpayer dollars, which are necessary to our district, every dollar is necessary to our district, in many other ways, to fund a position which so far has had the same track record of communication as our board? Thank you.
All right, seeing no one else, that'll close our public comment period. Thank you for those that participated. First up, Mrs. Radzicki, thank you for your comments in terms of our SEL work. You know, certainly this has been a couple of years in the making, and I thank the committee that put together a thoughtful proposal for us for next year. Yeah, that's work that we will continue to evaluate. I appreciate the question about, you know, how do you know if a program, particularly an SEL program, is successful? And it's exactly you know, some of the things that you mentioned. You know, looking at data points, not even just in terms of discipline. That's certainly a piece of it, right? In terms of the management of students, but also in terms of our mental health referrals, and taking a look at that data as well. And that's something that, through our communication between our building admin teams, our support staff, that we will continue to look at. You can see if the number of referrals that we're seeing do decline, and what that looks like, both in terms of discipline and in terms of mental health. So that's data that we'll continue to evaluate. Ms. Degnan, thank you for your comments. You know, I think the quick answer to your question is the best way to do this is to just have some conversation about it. I have lots of conversations with folks, typically after board meetings. You know, we certainly communicate via email. I know that's the way that you frequently like to communicate. I'm happy to have a conversation about safety and security with you at any point in time. I've done that with various community members. There is no plan in this budget to add armed guards currently to the budget. We've expanded security personnel, and we have expanded some of our security monitoring. We've also expanded some of our mental health initiatives. And one of the things that we talk about in terms of security is really a multi-pronged approach. Yes, we talk about the physical structure of a building. We talk about the hardening of our security. We talk about the personnel to protect us. But we also talk about really creating a community where we know our students and staff well, so that we don't have incidents where people are on the fringe that we don't know about. That's one of the key elements to this. Oftentimes in these horrific situations that we've seen across the nation, you have seen that over and over again, the perpetrator is someone that is known to the school community. It's typically not an outsider coming in. It's someone that had some connection to that community, unfortunately. So that's part of the work. Also, a big part of the work is the training and the partnerships that we look to create. Training is critical. That's a constant topic for us as an administrative team, and talking through different scenarios, doing threat assessment. Threat assessment was a big focus for us this year. That was the focus of the work that we did with our administrative team when we met this summer, really talking about creating threat assessment teams in each one of our buildings so that we can do that work. In addition, just partnerships. Partnerships are critical. NCPD has been an amazing partner. Just in my time here in Wantagh, I have noticed an unbelievable difference in terms of the connections that we have had with them and the regular communication between NCPD and particularly Homeland Security. There is a designated officer that works with our district that we are able to quickly run things through when they come up, and their response has been unbelievable. I mean, we're on the phone at all sorts of hours, evening, day, night. And they have been great, and that unit in particular has been really a great partner for us. So security is, as I said, it's not just one piece. There's multiple pieces to this, and we'll continue to work at it. And I certainly welcome a conversation with you at any time about security, and look forward to that. So thank everyone for attending tonight, and have a good evening. Wish everyone a great holiday.